My name is Troy Benoit. I am 25 years old. I grew up all over the place. I lived in Calgary, I lived in Nelson, played hockey in Nelson, and I've lived in New West for the last 10 years. When I left high school, I was starting to gain weight. I was living at home, and it just made it that much easier to enjoy mom's cooking. And it just started from there, and I really started noticing it piling on and having a hard time moving. And then when I started buying suits for work, I started realizing just how big I was. The calling ultimately became an ACL tear. I was 310 before I had surgery on my knee, and then I came down to 285 because they told me I was too heavy to have the surgery. My knee wouldn't stand up to it. I was out of shape, and I was miserable. Honestly, I was not happy with who I was, and I really could use some changes in my life. At that point, I was lucky to look at a gym. While I was rehabbing, I watched the 2012 CrossFit Games and thought to myself, yeah, I could do that. For whatever reason, it just stuck to me. From day one, I knew that I wanted to compete, and while my body didn't necessarily allow me to do that at that point, or my skills, it was always something that from watching the games was a huge part of my mind. And I think I said that to Errol and Tom like day one, hey guys, like I want to go to the games. Obviously, having zero experience with a lot of the movements, didn't necessarily help that, but it was always something in my mind. Strength is my favorite thing to do. I would have to say I've essentially become the strongest human I am, obviously at this point in my life. I can now squat 360 pretty comfortably. I can put over 300 pounds over my head without really thinking too much about it. I can pick up almost 500 pounds. I mean, numbers that when you think about just everyday life, you never think that you'd have to use them, but if I have to, they're there. I went from a 44 waist to I now wear a 32 jean or pant. I have a neck again, which is something that I didn't have for a long time. My eyes actually got bigger, just because I didn't have as much skin around them. It was things like that that I noticed. My feet got a size and a half smaller. Huge changes that you wouldn't even think of that just happened. The environment was incredible. I can't say enough about the coaches now. It's always been welcoming. It's always been, other than the facility being huge and totally different, it was never daunting to me. 300 members strong, push each other through every workout, no matter if you're a guy like me that tries to compete and wants to go to regionals, or if you're a brand new member and you just are scared to come in for the first time. We've all been there. We have all been at a point in our lives where we wanted to try something different. We wanted to make a change in our lives, and we're not unlike you. I've had to go through hundreds and hundreds of hours to get to the point where I am, thousands of hours, and I'm not done. The people at Rocky Point will welcome you. The coaches are gonna hold your hand every step of the way. And at the end of the day, you're not gonna have a bad day here.